How's it going, Forex traders? Yours truly, Desmond Samuel. I'm back on the chat. I'm back on YouTube again to let you know what's happening in the market, and then also to better prepare yourselves for what's coming, in the coming weeks. All right. So to kick things off, here, we have the SP500. I spoke to you guys earlier on about this pair. I said to you that as far as we have actually capped at this point here, because if you one of the principles of an uptrend is that you must give it a new high, or a series of higher highs and higher lows. Well, then we came on here and then we capped at this point. We actually failed to put in a higher high. Instead, we came to put in an equal high here. But as soon as I saw that we actually put in an equal high somewhere around here that is a double top, this was a cause for concern. And when I came on the weekly time frame, let me just show you guys what that looks like. So when I came on the weekly time frame, I could clearly see a double top formation somewhere around here. So it was pretty much easy for me to call out this guy to the downside. So what actually confirmed this reversal was a break of neckline somewhere around here, around 5,830 region. So we did actually do that. We actually broke out of the neckline, and then so we actually did that. We actually broke out of the neckline, and then started to point to the downside. So it was also a break of trend line somewhere around here, like so that actually confirmed that this guy was actually going to collapse. Of course, with Trump tariff talks and sorts of things here. So as things stand here for the SP500 moving into the coming weeks, I actually expect S&P to dip all the way back to at least 5,200 basis points somewhere around here. Like so, obviously this won't happen overnight. It might take a while, but honestly speaking, according to what the principle of an uptrend states, that after you put in a new high, you have to put in a higher low. So this is a low, this is a high, higher low, higher high, higher low here. We'll put in a higher high here. So we need to come in and put in a higher low somewhere around here. And this will more or less be the third touch of the trend line, because this was the first touch somewhere around here. Second touch here. This is the third touch that will most likely happen. So what will happen around 5,200 or 5,000 basis points will be the third touch of this trend line somewhere around here. Again, my business here is to capitalize on the current move. Alright. So neckline was actually broken on the weekly time frame, and by the time we get down to the daily time frame, we saw some pullbacks here and there, and then this trade is well on its way to hitting first TP for this trade will always be the most recent low, which will be around 5,000, I think 5,340 basis points. So best believe I think right around Monday or Tuesday we should actually hit first TP, and that so the first TP for the SP500 shorts is 5,340 5,540 basis points, right? I'll take that again. So the first take profit for this guy is 5,540 basis points, and then subsequently the second TP will be obviously at this oil reversal point, which is around 5,400 basis points, and then we should see this guy collapse again. If this level does not hold, we see this guy run all the way to 5,200 basis points. Overall, we have some room to the downside, decent room to the downside, and obviously this guy will not just fall out of the sky. There will be some pullbacks here and there, some curling ups here and there, so you get to make more entries. That's why I always urge you guys to come and rewatch these videos as many times as possible, because most of the times you will not get the levels I call out at first take. All right, so you need to come and then rewatch these videos as many times as possible. Get yourself accustomed with the way I trade and the way I look at the market, because I'm actually not kidding you. As clear as this is, a lot of people might actually have missed it because they didn't come back to watch the video again. All right, so you need to always come back and watch the video day in day out. That's how you learn how I trade, literally. All right, so that is that for the SP500. We should actually see this guy drop all the way to at least 5,000, or if not 4,400, 4,900 basis points somewhere around here, like so, or maybe this blue bar. But I'm actually going for this guy. All right, so that is that for the SP500. We have space all the way to the downside, tariff talks here and there. So that is that for the SP500. Nothing really out of the ordinary, just market being market stuff. All right, because if you actually look at this guy closely, you can see that we have a decent, Fibonacci play from this stretch, this whole stretch here to this point here. Let me just show you guys real quick. All right. Okay, so we have a beautiful stretch on this guy here. So and if you look closely, this is more or less a fib level that it is most likely coming into. So yeah, SP500 short trades absolutely going amazing. Alright, so that's just that for the SP500. I'll keep you guys posted. Be sure to always come back and watch these videos over and over again to know exactly what I'm doing part time in the market. Alright, so that's just that for the S&P. Alright, so one thing about the indices is that whenever S&P 500 decides a trend, every other index follows. All right, so as you can see here, NASDAQ or US 100 or US Tech here is already on its way. Exact same thing that S&P is doing, is the exact same thing NASDAQ is looking to do. All right, so I'm looking at NASDAQ collapsing all the way to at least 17 or somewhere around here, like so maybe at least 17,900 basis points for NASDAQ points for this NASDAQ should be at least. So if you're in this trade, or if you've not actually gotten into this trade, I would actually advise you to chill out. All right, so just wait. At the end of the day, all right, so if you're not in this trade, So by the way, I called out this trade in my previous episode. I spoke to you guys clearly right from two and said, as far as we had capped around this 22, because I was actually because I was actually calling the NASDAQ all the way to at least 27K. And that's the thing about the market. Yeah, you need to always brace yourself for that top pullback. That top pullback always tends to be the biggest and the deepest. In this case, we have the first pullback here, second pullback. This is top pullback here being even significantly larger. And in most times you get into a trade, you start to ride the trend and you get carried away in the trend. All right, not knowing that we always have a top pullback somewhere around, just looking around. So as you can see here, NASDAQ is actually on its way down. All right, it's headed down. So if you have not actually taken this trade, let me see what you can do on the 4 hour time frame. All right, so if you're not already in this trade here for this NASDAQ, I would advise you just wait for a pullback. Once we clear out this base here, once this base is cleared here, ladies and gentlemen, you can actually have some more space to the downside. So wait for the market to actually break below this 19,182 or 19,200 basis point area. Once you see that break out of here, now we can start looking for another pullback somewhere around inside of here and jumping again, and then ride this get all the way to 17K. But so if you're not already on this trade, I would advise you allow the market give you a new low somewhere around here, because this is more or less an equal low from here. So this is looking like TP will get hit at least by Monday or Tuesday. You get like a TP hit or a confirmation somewhere around here. So your business in this market moving on is to actually wait for the market to give you a new low. Allow the market break below this 19K region somewhere around here. Once it breaks below there, we have space all the way to 17K. So you jump in upon the pullback. The second pullback is where you jump in. All right. So and you don't need to worry about you don't need to worry about that, because I'll be here to let you know exactly when the market is ready yet again. Like I told you guys for NASDAQ, I told you guys for the SP500 and US 30 as well. Once we clear out this 19K region, we have space all the way to 17K. So wait, allow the market break below here and then give you a pullback. So on the pullback is where you actually enter this guy and then drop this guy all the way to 17K. So that's just that for NASDAQ, guys. So we have room all the way to 17K once we clear out this green bar. But for Monday and Tuesday, I expect to get TP hit confirmation email. So once that TP gets hit, we have space all the way to 17K. All right, guys. Now on to crude oil. Crude oil has actually gone ahead to actually retest the $70 a barrel that I spoke to you guys about. So in the coming week, watch out for this pair. I'm actually calling out crude oil all the way to $65 a barrel if this yellow bar actually holds. All right, so guys, I have no iota of doubt whatsoever that crude oil is going to collapse all the way to $65 a barrel. And by the way, if you found value in this video show so far, I urge you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon as you do so. All right, so guys, as far as crude oil is concerned, I'm calling out crude oil to the downside to $65 a barrel if this yellow bar holds. All right, so onto the USDJPY, I actually spoke to you guys about this pair. I said that if we are able to break below this yellow bar here, we have space all the way to the downside, and as things stand, that is exactly what the market is doing. But the only thing holding this guy from collapsing further is even this trend line here. Once you plot this trend line nicely, you can see that the market is still respecting this trend line as it stands. All right, so about USDJPY, as far as we actually remain below this yellow bar, we have space to the downside. All right, so the only thing holding this guy back is this counter trend. And once you see a break of counter trend, and guys, entries are made, stops are above structure. Let this guy all the way to the downside. But in the event that we actually break above this yellow bar here, then I would actually be back here to let you guys know that there's a change in plan. And now, guys, I favor USDJPY to the downside to the tune of 80%, because I'm actually quite confident that if this market breaks below this trend line here, we are actually seeing this guy collapse all the way down. It's very simple. It's no brainer, guys. Like, unless of course we actually rally all the way up, but in the event that we actually still remain underneath this yellow band and we break out of this trend line, guys, this guy's gonna drop all the way down. All right, so first TP in the coming weeks for USDJPY is obviously at this point here. TP1 for USDJPY short. So TP1 for USDJPY shorts will be at 147 region, and then once we clear this base, we have space all the way down to 140. So what you should be waiting for next week is allow this market break below this trend line somewhere around here, like so. Entries we made somewhere around there, stops above structure. Always put your stops above structure, guys. Very important. All right. So put your stops above structure, because I'm still bearish on the USDJPY and across the rest of the JPY pairs. Anyway, like I said earlier, the market will not just fall out of the sky. It will most likely coil up nicely, and they go ahead and then execute this guy properly. All right, so that's just that for the dollar yen. So as we look to wrap this up nicely for the XY, I'm actually looking at this guy melting all the way through to 100. All right, so this is well on its way to hitting 100, and yep. So once we hit this blue bar, I'll be here to let you guys know again what I think about the market and how you should actually approach the market. But as things stand here, we have actually broken back down below it, like I said earlier, and this is a bearish engulfing weekly candlestick. This is huge. All right, so this is most likely going to continue falling. All right, because price always follows momentum, and this was significant momentum here, and then this guy just folded up nicely, and it's just going to continue to lower. All right, so I'm actually targeting dollar. So I'm actually calling dollar to the 100 point. All right, so yep, that's just that for today's episode. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking to the end. I remember yours truly, Desmond Samuel. Leave a like and let me know what you think about this video in the comment sections. I see every single comment you post. YouTube sends me the email, so I see clearly and I reply to every single comment. If you have questions, ask me in the comment section. I'll actually reply you. Then also, I leave a link to my socials, to my Twitter, Instagram, and then also to my Telegram community. It's for free. You can come in and join. See like-minded traders and also sign up use my recommended broker. And I'll see you guys. So be sure to subscribe. For God's guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell icon so that when next I come and let you guys know when USDJPY is ready, you will actually be among the very first few to see it. All right, so thank you so much. All right, so guys, turn on the bell icon and subscribe so that whenever I come on here to let you guys know when USDJPY is ready to collapse, you'll be among the very first few to see this.